I want to tell you about how I'm spending my time and the impact that we are making. As you know, at Turning Point Action, we have the largest ever ballot chasing army assembled to chase early ballots. Hundreds and hundreds of full-time people in Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, parts of Michigan, parts of Nevada, parts of Georgia, to chase ballots, to dominate voting month. Remember, Election Day is the final day of voting, not the first day of voting. Election month is underway in certain states. North Carolina voting, I think, has just started as they're getting the ballots finalized. And they got RFK off the ballot. Pennsylvania starts voting next week, is where I'm going. So that we are entering into voting month, and we have the ground team at Turning Point Action that is making a huge difference. The largest ground team ever assembled in the history of Republican politics. It's never happened before. To have hundreds and hundreds of full-time ballot chasers doing this work, registering voters, registering thousands and thousands of voters on the ground. And the work speaks for itself. But also, we're engaging in the air war. Not the television air war. That's kind of white noise. It's important, but I think it's white noise. Oh, Kamala did this and Trump did that, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. No, there's a different air war that is underway. The air war on how your kids and grandkids are viewing the 2024 election via social media. So I am now, in addition to everything else we're doing, 3 hours of radio a day, running Turning Point USA, having to raise money, having 2 kids under 2. We are doing the most ambitious campus tour in my 12-year career. Well over 22 campus stops and visits all across the country. Now, my goal is to educate, to inspire, to encourage the students that are on campus, to learn from them, and then also, when appropriate, show the world some of these conversations that occur to see if they could be persuasive and make a difference for conservative causes, conservative ideas, and for Trump potentially winning in November. So last week, we kicked it off at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Day before yesterday, I was at Colorado University Boulder. At CU Boulder, we had thousands and thousands of kids show up. Can we show some of this B-roll? Yesterday, University of North Texas in Denton, thousands of kids show up. We have some MAGA hats paid for by Turning Point PAC. Look at that. We cannot give the MAGA hats away quick enough on these college campuses. The kids are clamoring from them. They're fighting over each other for these MAGA hats. Now, by no means am I saying we're going to win the youth vote. By no means am I saying we're going to win these campuses, but we are going to lose by less. We will lose by less at UW-Madison. We will lose by less at ASU. We will lose by less at University of Pittsburgh. And losing by less is a way that you can then make the Democrat advantage a little bit shorter, a little bit less advantageous, and we can run up the score in other places. So last week, I went to the campus of University of Wisconsin-Madison, and I take questions there. I was on campus at UW-Madison for 3.5 hours. So when I'm not here hosting the radio program, everybody, when I'm here not having a conversation or chat with you, I'm doing just equal important work. But it's not just the thousands of kids that are impacted. It's not just the new people that were registering to vote. For example, at UW-Madison, we registered 150 new voters for Trump on campus right there. 150 new Trump voters on campus, University of Wisconsin-Madison. Only Turning Point Action is doing that work. But no, it is also the conversation and the dialogue that we have on campus that is seen by millions and millions and millions of people. What we are doing on these campuses is ground war, voter registration, face-to-face contact, chapter development, getting kids fired up, giving them equipped to go advocate for President Trump, and then the air war. This clip right here, I did not think was going to go viral. Ryan, to his great credit, who's running TikTok, and Daisy and Emma do a great job on Instagram. They said, you know what, let's put this up on TikTok. Let's see what happens. And I was like, I remember I texted Ryan. I said, this doesn't seem like this is going to go viral. He said, no, let's see. This video has been seen 14.7 million times just on our TikTok page, primarily by Gen Z voters, primarily of people under the age of 30. You cannot pay for this type of advertising of this organic grassroots content that is on fire right now. Let's get cut 80 prepared. This is a young man who's not a big fan of Donald Trump, but he's voting for Trump. And he definitely struck a chord. So we have this grassroots success on campus, and then this air war virality to reach millions of younger voters just with a single video. Play cut 80.
I will be voting for Trump.
Good.
And can I explain why?
Please.
So,
yes.
under the Trump administration, my family, we've been renters. So under the Trump administration, when the economy was good, my family, they'd been saving up for a house. They had a good savings. They were making well. And over the last 4 years, their savings have been wiped out. Inflation has killed them. They're back to renting. They don't know if they'll ever be able to retire. So even though as a Christian, I might not agree with how Trump has been in a couple marriages, sleeps with a lot of women, and gets into all this personal drama, just simply based off the economy, I believe I have to vote for Trump.
Well said. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You want a hat? Yeah. Tell your friends. Love it. 14.7 million views. And it's just an authentic testimony. Look, I might not be a big fan of all this other stuff of Trump, but just on the economy, I'm voting for Trump. And boy, did that hit a nerve and strike a chord. Seen by 14.7 million people. To put that in perspective, that would be the equivalent, and most of that's Gen Z, of running multiple Sunday night football advertisements. That would be valued at millions of dollars. Viral stuff like this that concedes that Donald Trump is human, but also a great president, shows and helps us win over marginal swing voters, people who lean Trump but need to justify it. And by the way, welcome aboard. What I am seeing on these campuses is very little Democrat enthusiasm. For young women, there is some Kamala stuff, but there is not the fervor that you would think for Kamala Harris with younger voters. Not at all. This is my entrance at University of North Texas, which is one of the most liberal schools in the state of Texas. Let's play cut 135. Wow, this is great, guys. Thank you. And when we could have fit another 1,000 people there, I know on radio and podcasting, you said, what I just listened to. That's me entering the Prove Me Wrong. While it's rainy, by the way, while it's not exactly the best weather, and that was posted by other people. I'm going to play more of this tape here, and I'm seeing something on the ground. And then we're going to segue into a press release that ties into this perfectly from Bernie Sanders' Political Action Committee. The furthest left Gen Z PAC is sending out a warning memo that nobody has covered. This is all in public eye. Bernie Sanders' PAC, called Our Revolution, after the debate was not celebrating. No. Bernie Sanders' Political Action Committee, Our Revolution, sent out a fire alarm, a red alert, and I believe it because I see it on these campuses. Younger voters own nothing, and they are not happy. They are increasingly poor. Kamala Harris is taking them for granted. And I could tell you, we are doing the work every day to lose by less in places where conservatives and Republicans have never dared to go. And we're playing to win the Electoral College in the states and the counties that matter. By the way, I have another campus coming tomorrow.